Hi there, homespun friends. I'm taking you with me as I travel this Sunday evening to choir practice. I have a little bit of a drive, and I thought, since I haven't made a video today, that I would just let you travel with me in my car and we could have a little chat while I was on my way to church. My husband and I came home from church today and we collapsed and we slept for 2 hours, which is very unusual. Neither one of us like to sleep during the day. Especially my husband. He's a type A person, but he was so tired, and his energy level has not been that good. I know that in my last video I mentioned to you guys that my energy level has been not so good. Well, it's really not. And yesterday it was better, but I think because I rested on Friday, and then yesterday was like a full day again. We had to travel out of town to do the memorial service for our friend that I told you about, and my husband participated in that memorial service, and it was really sweet, and we had to leave early. And the reason why is because that service lasted, well, we had been there almost 2 hours when that service, it was ongoing when we left. It was not a Baptist funeral. It was, I think that they call it Episcopalian Charismatic. But it was sort of like a blended church, but it had a lot of liturgy and of the more almost Catholic type ritualistic things that they do. It was very beautiful, very, very pretty. For those of you who are brought up in a different faith, you would recognize some parts of your faith in that service, as I did as a Southern Baptist. They sang a lot of praise songs that were very modern and songs that we sing in our church. They had a keyboard and like some live music, but they also had some very traditional things like the incense and the swinging of the incense and the candles and the bowing and the different things. I don't know all the titles of everything that is done, but my husband has studied world religions, and he's been in these different churches before, but he had forgotten a lot of things because you don't go every Sunday or every Saturday or whatever day they have worship. This particular church has, I think they have worship on Sundays. We just weren't familiar with these activities, but when we went in, they had a picture of our friend on the front of a book, and the book was, I don't know if it was 12 pages long, front and back, and it was unbelievable. Like I said, we had been there almost 2 hours, and they were having a pause in the service just to, well, I guess it was part of the service where they pass the microphone around and people can share and say things. We don't typically do that in the Baptist church that much. And so a lot of people were taking the microphone in the congregation, and they were talking about their memories and things like that. And one of the men said that he wanted to play a song that he had written with the deceased. And so as he was setting all of that up, and they had a camera where they were filming things, my husband and I, one of the family members got up and slipped out to go to the restroom, and we just followed behind her because we had to drive. We still had to drive down the mountain, and it took us about an hour and 20 minutes, I guess, to get home. And so anyway, it was wonderful. We got to see the son of our friend who passed away. He's in his 20s now, and we had been very close with his family when he was born, and so it was a good service, but it was long, and they were telling us that these services can last 3 or more hours. So we were amazed. And when the service was finished, they were going to have an evening meal, and the service started at 2, and like I say, we left around the 4 p.m. time. So anyway, we were tired when we finally got home yesterday evening, but we had a good day. And even though I had shed some tears, it's natural to grieve and to be sad when your friends pass. You're going to see them again. You know that you don't grieve like the world grieves, but you still have some grief. And then, of course, we had worship this morning, which was wonderful. And this morning, the thing that I took from worship, I shared it on my Facebook page. If you're over there, I also shared it on the scripture writing page for our scripture writing group. It was that God never runs out of what we need. God never runs out of what we need. And I love that. I love that idea. When when we think about all the things in this world that give us grief and problems, to know that God does not run out, that He is the owner of all of creation, and everything in the world belongs to Him. And whatever we need, it's right there in the palm of His hand. He has it. So it was a blessing to hear our sermon this morning. The scripture text was out of Philippians, and so we came home and we ate lunch and we crashed. And now I'm up and going to choir practice. This is not my normal routine. On Sunday evenings, our worship service starts at 6, and right now it's probably about 10 after 6. And in the months of February and March, our church is trying something a little different. We are having discipleship classes for our different church members. We have like a marriage class. We have a finances class. There's like 4 or 5 different classes you can choose from. They have a little meal beforehand, and then you can go to the classes. And I haven't participated in the last couple of weeks because of the fact that I haven't felt the very best. And my husband was telling me today after we woke up, he said, we slept in a dead sleep. I mean, it was a heavy sleep. He said, I think we both are just fighting off the last of the illness that we had over the winter time, and probably our bodies are fighting a lot of illness right now, so we shouldn't be worried about the fact that we don't have a lot of energy. If your body tells you to rest, you should rest. And our choir practice is at 6:30 during these weeks when we are having the discipleship classes. And normally it would be at 5 o'clock before church starts, but it's at 6:30, so I'm on my way over. I did not go last week to choir practice because right now we're in a transitional time. We've had an interim minister of music or choir director, and now we have someone more permanent. This was his first Sunday with us, and I want to be there for choir practice tonight because I'm sure he'll be sharing thoughts and ideas that are his own during that time, and I want to kind of get in on the groundwork of that as we're getting prepared for future services. I want to get my practice time in, so it takes me about between 12 and 15 minutes to get to church. And so I'm kind of bringing you along with me on a ride so that you can just tag along and see what I'm doing and what I'm thinking as I'm driving. Now, one of the things I didn't share with you last week is that my husband is having a further problem with his eye, the eye that he had surgery on. You know that December a year ago, he had the retinal detachment, and he had to have like very quick surgery, like the next day he had to have surgery, and so he did fine with that until probably sometime around the summer. He began to have some fogginess with his vision, and that was a cataract, which they told him sometimes after a retinal surgery you will develop a cataract. They had felt like he would because he already had the propensity. They could see the beginnings of a cataract there, and so they took that out. They cleared up the cataract, and they put in a lens in his eye so that he didn't have to wear his contacts or anything in that eye. And then, let's see, I'm trying to remember when it was. About a week ago, I guess. About a week ago this past Friday, we had our family over, and we were washing up dishes together, and he's told me then, he said, I've been having a lot of fogginess in my eye today. I've noticed it gradually getting worse, but I'm really noticing it this evening. And I said, oh man, it's in the same eye where he had his surgery. So I called and made him an appointment the next day, and he went in, and they told him that he has something. I think it has a name, but I don't know the exact name. It's where the lens develops a film on the back side of it, and this happens sometimes. I don't know how, I don't think it's very common, but it does happen sometimes, and they're familiar with it. And what they do to alleviate that film is they will take a laser drill and drill a hole in the lens and then draw that film out. And once they do that, the film never redevelops. And this would kind of be covered under his previous surgery, so it probably would not be any added expense, which was, of course, he was glad about that part, because with 2 eye surgeries in about 10 months, 11 months, it was a lot. And so, but the main thing I was worried about was his vision. But they told him his vision should be fine. But he had after the surgery, it all cleared up, he had 20/30 vision in that eye, and now it has gone down to 20/70. So that is why his eyes is, seeing some fogginess. So what they wanted him to do in the he can't have that procedure done. He can't have the laser drill done yet. It's not been long ago enough since his surgery was done. The last surgery he had done was the lens replacement, and that was done last October, and it's only February, so it's only been 4 months. And so he has to wait, I think he has to wait at least 6 months before he has the laser drill and film removal. And so he's going to have to wait 2 or 3 more months before he can have that done. And so they sent him to another doctor, just a regular optometrist that's in their group. And he saw him this week, and they gave him a prescription and fitted him for a contact. And he will have to, once again, wear a contact on top of the lens so that he will have closer to 20/20 vision for the next few months. And then they will schedule the procedure, I guess you call it a procedure, operation, surgery. I'm not really sure how they term that, to do the drill and take the film off his eye. So his vision will be restored. His eye looked good. The pressure was good. All of that news was positive. In addition to the positive news, this should not be a big expense on the budget. That was also positive news that he was happy to hear. And he's glad that he's going to, there's going to be a fix for it. He wanted to do it that day, but they were like, no, you have to wait. So that has been going on in our family, and it unnerved me the night that he told me he wasn't seeing very well out of his eye, because I know how quickly it is that, you can lose your sight. And friends, every day we need to be thankful, just thankful for every little thing that we get to experience in this life, for being able to see, if you can dress yourself, or even if you can dress yourself with a little bit of assistance from a helper, if you can feed yourself, even if someone else has to cook your food for you, if you're able to lift a spoon to your mouth. I know in the last days of my, really months of my grandmother's life, she had to have someone feed her. That's my maternal grandmother, and she was pretty much blind by that point. She was in her mid-90s, and she needed someone to help feed her. And she would say sometimes, I don't really know why I'm here, because I can't do anything for myself. And it was a great frustration to her. But we loved having her here, and just her presence meant so much to our family. And so your presence means so much to your family and friends. Be thankful every day when you can get up, when you can see, when you can move, when you can dress yourself, when you can eat food, and when you can just be an encouragement to your friends and neighbors and family members. You should have a lot to be thankful for. So that is all I guess I really wanted to share with you today, friends. I'm not far from the church now. I'm very close. As you can see, the light has been darkening some as we have been driving. But look how light it is at 6:15 at night. I love that. There for a while, it got dark at almost 5 o'clock, or just after 5 o'clock, and that was awfully discouraging. I don't like that one bit. And so to see the light coming in later and later each day, that's always an encouragement. We know that spring is on its way. Matter of fact, it's here. Today it has been in the 50s. Right now it's 50 degrees outside, and so that is not bad. Now we have had temperatures, as I've told you, up in the upper 70s. So the 50s was cooler, but I wore a heavier sweater to church this morning, but I ended up taking it off once I got inside for a little while, and then I never put it back on, because even when I went outside it felt really good, and it was a beautiful day. So that's what I have been up to, friends. I will probably stay at choir practice about an hour. That's usually about how long they last. Now this is a new choir director, so I don't know how long he will operate our choir practice, but it'll probably be around an hour that we will practice, and then I will head home, and at that time I will decide what we're having for dinner, because my husband had to leave home at about 4 o'clock. And this is how Sundays work for us. It's really a work day for your pastor's family. It's not a rest day. And that's one of the reasons that we try so hard to guard our day off, because it's really the only day we get that's truly like a rest day. And of course, every day is a day of worship to us. Because we are praising God every day, but we do love getting together with our church family on Sundays. It still is a worship day for us, but when you are in a minister's home, it is a work day. So So I'm finishing up my work for today, but I am working for the Lord. So that is a great joy. And friends, it has been wonderful to spend time with you on my ride. This is kind of a different video. I'm a little bit worried that my camera is going to be too shaky. I've got it propped up on its stand here in the car, and we've been on some bumpy roads on our drive, but I hope that it is okay so that I can share this with you guys and just spend time with you on this Sunday. Now, as a close, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to have a giveaway for my 2,000 subscriber Hallmark point. I'm getting close. When I left home, I was within 14 people of having 2,000 subscribers, and I just cannot imagine that. My first anniversary on YouTube will be in May, and to think that it's February and I'm that close to having 2,000, I never would have dreamed that. And you know, friends, it's not just about the number, it's that each one of those numbers is a person. That is a person that has subscribed and taken time to watch, and I really, really, truly do appreciate you and what you mean to me. And so I'm going to be doing a giveaway. I haven't exactly decided what I'm going to give away yet, but I'm thinking along the lines of giving away one of the journaling books that I reviewed for you guys here a couple videos ago. But some of you have already ordered that, so if by chance you have already received that, I'm going to pick a second option. I'm going to pick a second option so that you can you might can get something else, because you don't want to get two of the same thing. So if you're a person who has already bought the journaling book that we talked about, what is it, Complete Guide to Bible Journaling, then we will certainly, I will pick something else that I can send you that you can enjoy. It'll probably be something to do with Bible journaling though, because I think that that is one of my favorite things, and I love the scripture writing and the journaling. It is a lot of fun, and so I think that's what it will be. So get ready. Be sure to watch the next few videos, because I will be sharing with you then what the prize will be and what you need to do to enter the giveaway. So I'm here at church, and I am pulling in right now to choir practice time. So I'm going to close for now, friends. Thank you for spending time with me. Bye-bye.